What if I told you that in just 90 days you could become a version of yourself so sharp, so disciplined, so focused that even you wouldn't recognize who you are today? Imagine walking into a room and carrying yourself differently, not with hesitation, not with insecurity, but with quiet power. Imagine speaking with clarity, moving with purpose, handling pressure without flinching. This isn't fantasy, it's not hype, it's math. 90 days of deliberate, focused action is long enough to rewire your brain, reset your identity, and transform your life. The question is simple: are you willing to lock in for 90 days, or will you let the old version of yourself keep calling the shots? Right now, there are two versions of you competing for dominance. One version hesitates, scrolls endlessly, second-guesses every move, and talks about change but never really makes it. That version is comfortable but weak. The other version, the one buried inside you, is sharper, more disciplined, more dangerous. He's a builder, a closer, a force. That version is waiting to be born, but he only emerges when you decide to cut the rope tying you to your old life. The tragedy is most people never meet that second version of themselves. They drift in cycles of distraction, promising that someday they'll get serious. But someday isn't a plan, someday is an excuse. 90 days of radical commitment is enough to silence the old you and unleash the new you. But the cost is real. You'll have to burn the old blueprint. Let's be clear, 90 days is not some mystical number. It's not hype, it's science and consistency. 3 months of daily action compounds into momentum, and momentum changes everything. Do something once, it's a choice. Do it for a week, it's a habit forming. Do it every single day for 90 days, it becomes who you are. This is how identity shifts. It's not about trying, it's about becoming. When you wake up early for 90 days straight, it's not something you try to do anymore, it's who you are. When you train daily, sweat daily, show up daily, discipline stops being an effort and starts being your default setting. That's why 90 days matters. It's not about chasing motivation, it's about proving to yourself over and over that you are no longer the man you used to be. Transformation begins with one brutal but necessary act. You must destroy the old blueprint. That means the version of you who quits when it gets hard, gone. The version of you who scrolls instead of builds, gone. The version of you who negotiates with weakness, gone. A man who truly decides burns his bridges. He doesn't leave an escape route. He removes retreat as an option. He doesn't say, I'll try this for a while. He says, I'm in, period. Here's what you need to do starting today. Schronert, set your line in the sand. Write the date. Mark it. From this day forward, the old version of you is dead. Eliminate your escape routes. Delete the apps that waste your time. Remove the temptations that always pull you back. Announce your commitment to yourself. Say it out loud. For the next 90 days, I am all in. No excuses, no retreat. Prepare your environment. Your environment is your battlefield. Clean your workspace. Clear your room. Make it impossible to forget that you are in war mode. When you burn the old blueprint, you leave yourself no option but to build the new one. Most people never change because they wait for motivation. But motivation is a liar. It's a mood, and moods are unstable. If you wait to feel ready, you'll never move. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It doesn't ask you if you're tired, or if you feel like it, or if your friends are busy. Discipline shows up anyway. And when discipline repeats itself daily, it creates momentum. Momentum is the real magic. It's what turns hard into automatic. It's what transforms effort into flow. It's what separates the man who keeps restarting from the man who rises. Think of pushing a heavy flywheel. At first, every push feels exhausting. It barely moves, but push after push, the wheel starts turning, and once it turns, it carries itself forward with less effort. That's momentum. And 90 days is long enough to build unstoppable momentum. So here's the truth. 90 days is not about testing something new. It's about becoming someone new. It's not about hype. It's about physics, momentum, repetition, identity. And now the real work begins. You've drawn your line in the sand. You've burned your old blueprint. The next step is to understand how identity is forged, how your brain rewires itself through daily proof. Because this isn't about trying to be disciplined. It's about becoming the man who already is. History remembers men who left themselves no way back. Soldiers who burned their ships so retreat was impossible. Leaders who cut off the escape route so the only option was victory. Why? Because when you leave yourself no exit, you discover a level of power, clarity, and commitment you didn't know existed. That's what it means to burn the bridges. Not half-hearted commitment, not I'll try and see what happens. No, you lock in with finality. You remove the safety nets. You make retreat impossible. And in that moment, you stop trying to change. You become someone new. Centuries ago, a general led his army to battle on foreign shores. His men were outnumbered, afraid, and unsure. After unloading, he gave the order that shocked everyone. burn the ships. The message was brutal but clear. We win or we die. There is no going home. That day, his soldiers fought like men who had no option but victory, and against the odds, they triumphed. The same is true in your life. As long as you keep your ships, your excuses, your escape plans, your back doors, you will always fight half-heartedly. But once you burn them, once you leave yourself no retreat, the only option left is to win. Your brain doesn't change through trying. It changes through repetition. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you carve a new groove in your brain. At first it's faint, but repeat it daily and it deepens. After 90 days, it becomes a highway, an automatic identity. Do something once, it's a choice. Do it a few times, it's a habit forming. Do it every day for 90 days, it becomes who you are. That's why burning the bridges is powerful. It forces you to act daily. It removes the option of quitting. And when quitting is no longer available, your brain adapts. You don't try to wake up early, you just do, because it's who you are. You don't force discipline, you live it, because your identity has shifted. Burning your bridges in this 90-day journey means eliminating every option that pulls you back to the old you. Here's how to do it step by step. Declare your decision. Write it down, say it out loud, and mark the date. This is not a vague wish. It's a decision with a start line. Eliminate escape routes. Delete the apps that waste your time. Remove the toxic habits that keep you stuck. Cut off distractions that steal your focus. Create accountability. Tell someone you trust, or write a public commitment so backing out comes with cost. Replace with purpose. Don't just cut, replace. If you remove scrolling, replace it with reading. If you cut drinking, replace it with exercise. The vacuum must be filled with progress. Make quitting more painful than continuing. Tie consequences to giving up. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's your word to someone you respect. Make quitting unbearable. That's how you burn the bridges. Here's what most people get wrong. They think resistance means they're failing. They start a new habit, feel the friction, and think, this isn't working. But resistance isn't the enemy. It's the signal. Muscles don't grow without tension. Skills don't sharpen without repetition. Identity doesn't shift without emotional friction. When it gets hard, when you feel the urge to quit, when old habits whisper for comfort, that's not a red light, it's green. It means you've reached the edge of the old you. Push through, and you step into the new you. Most fold at this moment, but you won't, because you burned the bridges. You removed the option to go back. Now you understand why burning bridges is non-negotiable. You've eliminated retreat. You've committed with finality. But here's the next truth. Burning bridges alone is not enough. You need a structure, a system, a blueprint that forces you to keep moving forward every single day, no matter what. And that's what we'll dive into next. The 4 pillars of transformation: mind, body, mission, and stillness. These are the daily practices that will forge your identity and make discipline your default. Every man who ever transformed himself, every woman who ever rewrote her life, every champion, every leader, every builder, they didn't rise by accident. They rose because they built their days on a structure. Without structure, you drift. Without structure, you break promises to yourself. Without structure, you stay trapped in the cycle of starting and quitting. That's why most people never change. They run on random habits, chasing bursts of motivation, never realizing that transformation is engineered through daily pillars. So here's the truth. If you want the next 90 days to rewire you completely, you must live by the 4 pillars of transformation. They are non-negotiable. They are simple, brutal, and effective. If you commit to them, you will not come out the same. Think about the average person who says they want change. They make a list of goals. They hype themselves up. For the first week, they go hard. But then, life happens. Distraction steals their focus. Work drains their energy. They scroll for just 10 minutes that becomes an hour. They tell themselves they'll start again next Monday. Here's the cycle. Start, quit, restart. Start, quit, restart. Over and over until years pass and nothing changes. Why? Because they had no pillars, no structure holding them steady when emotions faded, no system to carry them when motivation collapsed. That's why the 4 pillars matter. They anchor you. They carry you when your feelings betray you. They become the skeleton of your transformation. The 4 pillars are simple. Ronsa the pran, your mind, you cannot outperform your thinking. You must deliberately feed your brain daily. Body, energy and resilience come from movement. A weak body cannot support a strong mind. Mission, you must give time every day to building the life you want, not just maintaining the one you have. Stillness, without silence, your potential stays foggy. Clarity comes from presence. Stack these 4 together every single day for 90 days, and your identity will shift at the root. How to practice the 4 pillars. Pillar 1, mind, Ron's full hour daily. No junk content, no passive scrolling. Instead, read high-quality books, journal reflections, write affirmations, study ideas that stretch you. This is not entertainment. It's downloading new software into your brain. Over time, you begin speaking differently. You move differently. You think strategically because your mind has been sharpened deliberately. Pillar 2, body, minimum 30 minutes daily, up to 60. Intensity matters more than perfection. Run, lift, stretch, box, hike, it doesn't matter. Just move. The body fuels the mind. If your body is weak, your focus cracks. Every drop of sweat becomes a vote for discipline. You don't negotiate with weakness. You push, you sweat, you grow. Pillar 3, mission. Montens, run. 90 minutes of deep, uninterrupted work daily. No phone, no distractions, no excuses. If you're a writer, you write. If you're a builder, you build. If you don't know your mission yet, then finding it is your mission. Most people don't give their dreams 90 minutes a week. You'll give it 90 minutes a day. That's 105 hours in 70 days. That compounds into mastery. That separates you. Pillar 4, stillness. No phone, no talking, no stimulation. Just you, your breath, your mind. Stillness isn't wasted time. It's sharpening your focus, resetting your nervous system, aligning you with your vision. Most people are addicted to stimulation. They've forgotten how to hear their own thoughts. But stillness detoxes the noise. It trains presence, and presence creates clarity. Imagine stacking these pillars every single day for 90 days. Your mind expands because it's fed with powerful knowledge instead of distractions. Your body strengthens because it sweats daily and adapts under pressure. Your mission moves forward because you're finally building consistently, not sporadically. Your stillness sharpens your clarity, your presence, your decision-making. Stack them together and you don't just change habits, you change your identity. You stop saying, I'm trying to be disciplined. You become disciplined. This is why the 4 pillars are non-negotiable. Miss one and the structure weakens. Keep them all and your transformation becomes inevitable. But let me be clear, even with the 4 pillars, you can still fail. Why? Because most people negotiate. They say, I'll work out tomorrow. They say, I'll read later. They say, just one day won't hurt. And little by little, they erode their own identity. That's why there's a 5th law. It holds the 4 pillars together. It's the line that separates amateurs from professionals, talkers from doers. It's called no negotiation. Let me tell you the biggest reason most people fail. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're weak. It's not because they don't have talent. They fail because they negotiate. They start strong, but the first time it gets hard, they start having quiet little conversations with themselves. Just skip today, you'll go harder tomorrow. You've already done enough, take a break. No one's watching, it won't matter. And in that moment, they don't just miss a workout or skip a reading session or blow off their deep work. They teach their subconscious a dangerous lesson. My word means nothing. That is how identities crumble, not with one big failure, but with thousands of tiny negotiations. If you want to rise in the next 90 days, this one rule must govern everything. No negotiation. There are 2 kinds of people in life, amateurs and professionals. The amateur only works when it feels good. He's motivated in the beginning, but when boredom hits, when discomfort rises, when results don't show up fast enough, he negotiates. He starts over again and again, never building momentum. The professional, he doesn't negotiate. He made his decision once and that's it. Whether it's raining, whether he's tired, whether no one is clapping, he executes. That's why professionals rise above. Because while amateurs live by moods, professionals live by standards. Which one are you becoming? Every time you negotiate with weakness, you pay a hidden cost. You don't just miss the action, you weaken your identity. You reinforce the belief that quitting is acceptable. And your brain, always watching, always recording, takes notes. Skip once, it feels harmless. Skip twice, it feels normal. Skip often enough, and quitting becomes your identity. On the other hand, every time you push through, even when you don't feel like it, you send a different message. This is who I am now. And your identity shifts upward. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about refusing to negotiate. So how do you actually practice no negotiation? Decide once. Stop deciding every day whether you'll work out, read, or do your deep work. Decide once, lock it in, and never revisit that decision. Create standards, not goals. Goals can be missed. Standards cannot. A standard is who you are. Say, I train daily, instead of, I want to train more. Make up for misses immediately. If you miss your deep work today, you make it up tonight. If you miss your workout, you double tomorrow. The rule is simple. You always pay your debt. Remove feelings from the equation. You don't check in with your mood before executing. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It only asks, did you show up? When you're tempted to negotiate, ask, what would the man I'm becoming do right now? Then do that. Every time. This is the no negotiation code. Break it and you slide back. Keep it and you rise. Picture this. It's 10 p.m., you're tired, and you realize you skipped your deep work session. The old you starts negotiating. It's late. It doesn't matter. I'll start again tomorrow. That's the fork in the road. If you negotiate, you reinforce weakness. You go to bed soft, and tomorrow you're even more likely to repeat the pattern. But if you refuse negotiation, you sit down, you grind for 30 minutes, you close the day in alignment, you go to bed with self-respect, and self-respect is the root of all confidence. That's how transformation happens, not in hype, but in small moments of refusal. But here's the truth. You can't live the no negotiation code in a weak environment. If your room is cluttered, your phone is full of distractions, your conversations are filled with gossip, you will negotiate because your battlefield is stacked against you. That's why the next step in this 90-day transformation is to build an environment so clean, so sharp, so focused that it forces discipline. Here's the hard truth. Motivation is a liar. Motivation gets you started, but it will never carry you to the finish line. Why? Because motivation is a mood, and moods change. If you rely on motivation, you'll crush it on Monday, struggle by Wednesday, and quit by Friday. That's why most people live in cycles of starting strong and falling off. If you want to become unrecognizable in 90 days, you cannot build your life on moods. You must build it on systems. You must anchor it in identity. You must fuel it with consistency. An amateur says, "I'll work when I feel like it." A builder says, "I work because that's who I am." The amateur obsesses over goals. They set them, dream about them, talk about them, and wait for motivation to act. But they never stay consistent. The builder focuses on systems. He doesn't ask if he feels ready. He doesn't waste time fantasizing about the finish line. He masters the daily process. The amateur waits for perfect conditions. The builder creates them. The amateur prays for inspiration. The builder builds systems so he doesn't need inspiration. Which one do you want to be? Here's the secret. Behavior follows identity. If you see yourself as someone who quits, you'll keep quitting. If you see yourself as someone disciplined, you'll act disciplined, even when it's inconvenient. This is called identity anchoring. Stop acting like the man you've been. Start acting like the man you're becoming. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Not when you see results. Now. Don't say, "I'm trying to be consistent." Say, "I am consistent." Don't say, "I'm working toward discipline." Say, "I am disciplined." Your mind believes what you repeat, and the more you repeat it, the more your actions align. Until one day it's not effort anymore, it's who you are. Goals are destinations. Systems are vehicles. You can't get to the destination without the vehicle. Here's how to build systems that make discipline automatic. Ron morning ritual. Same wake-up time daily. Begin with your mind. Read, write, reflect. Move your body. 20-30 minutes of sweat. Prime your day with clarity. Deep work block. Ron 90 minutes of focused work daily. No distractions, no phone, no negotiation. This is where dreams are built. Evening ritual. Ron non-screens an hour before sleep. Journal wins and lessons from the day. Plan tomorrow. Sleep with clarity. Wake with purpose. Habit tracking. Ron use a wall calendar, journal or app. Mark every day you complete your rituals. Why? Because momentum loves visibility. When you see the streak, you don't want to break it. These systems make your habits non-negotiable. They eliminate decision-making. They turn effort into rhythm. Imagine a giant wall calendar. Every day you show up, you mark a big red X. Day after day, the X's link together into a chain. The chain grows. You start to feel proud of it. And suddenly, you don't want to break it. That's how consistency builds itself. Not through hype, but through small daily wins, stacking into unstoppable momentum. Each X is a silent victory. Each X is proof. Each X is another nail in the coffin of the old you. But here's what you need to know. Even with systems, even with rituals, even with identity anchoring, resistance will still come. Around day 7, around day 30, around day 60, you'll hit walls. Not because you're weak, but because transformation demands resistance. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Transformation is never smooth. It isn't a straight climb, it's a battle. And along the way, you will hit walls. These walls are not there to stop you. They are there to test you, to refine you, to see if you are serious about becoming someone new. And if you can break through them, by day 90, you won't just look different. You won't just feel different. You will be different, unrecognizable to the man you used to be. There are 3 major walls every transformation faces. Miss them and you'll think you're failing. But understand them and you'll know you're evolving. Wall 1, resistance. At first you're excited. New routines feel fresh. But then resistance kicks in. The honeymoon is over. The old habits whisper, skip today. Rest a little. It's too much. This is where most people quit. They mistake resistance for failure. But resistance is not failure, it's feedback. It means your old self feels threatened. That's proof you're on the right path. Wall 2, boredom. This one is deadly. By now you're not struggling anymore, you're just bored. The routine feels repetitive. No applause, no fireworks, just grind. And here's the danger. Boredom makes people abandon what's finally working. They chase something new, something exciting, and start the cycle over again. But greatness is built in the boredom. The ability to keep showing up, even when it's dull, even when no one cares. That's where your identity truly shifts. Wall 3, rebirth. Something changes here. You wake up sharper. The habits no longer feel forced. The resistance has softened. The boredom has broken. You've entered rhythm. Your actions feel natural. Your discipline feels normal. And your confidence is no longer hype. It's evidence. By the time you reach day 90, the man who emerges is not the same man who began. Let's be clear. Discomfort is not punishment. It's the price of transformation. Muscles grow through tension. Focus sharpens through repetition. Identity rewires through resistance. When it feels hard, when you want to quit, when your old self screams for comfort, that's not a sign to stop. That's the signal to push harder. Remember this, the man you want to become cannot survive in comfort. He is born in fire, in friction, in struggle. When the urge to quit hits, use a reset phrase. Say it out loud. I said 90, not 9. 9 days won't change your life. 90 will. Micro-commitments. On hard days, shrink the task. Can't do 60 minutes? Do 10. Can't write 3 pages? Write 1 paragraph. Just don't break the chain. Reframe resistance. When it feels painful, remind yourself, this is the edge where I grow. Pain isn't punishment, it's progress. Boredom rituals. When it feels repetitive, double down on your rituals. Journal. Track your progress. Reflect on how far you've come. Progress is often invisible until you zoom out. Celebrate the small wins. Don't wait for day 90 to feel proud. Every day you follow through, you're building self-respect, the foundation of unshakable confidence. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with it. You don't ask yourself if you're motivated to do it. It's just who you are. That's exactly what happens after 90 days of discipline. The habits stop feeling like chores. They become identity. You no longer say, I'm trying to be disciplined. You say, I am disciplined. And here's the beauty. Once identity locks in, it sticks. You don't go back. You can't. The old you doesn't fit anymore. So here's where you stand. 90 days, 4 pillars, no negotiation, systems and rituals, and the courage to break through the walls. If you follow this path, if you refuse to quit when resistance hits, if you embrace boredom instead of running from it, if you endure the friction until rhythm takes over, then by day 90 you will re-emerge unrecognizable, your body sharper, your mind clearer, your habits automatic, your confidence real, your presence magnetic. The world won't recognize you, but more importantly, neither will the man you used to be. So disappear for 90 days, go dark, build in silence, let them wonder where you went, and when you come back, don't say a word. Let the results speak. Let your new identity echo louder than any announcement ever could. Because this isn't about proving it to them. This is about proving it to yourself. The old you negotiated. The old you scrolled. The old you settled. That man is dead. The new you is forged in discipline, built in silence, born through resistance, and in 90 days he will walk out undeniable.